Good morning, student. Welcome to the lecture number 3. In previous two lectures, we had taken a brief review of syllabus as well as the content of analog electronics 2, as well as the how this analog branch will be designed and how it carry out its designing from semiconductor level to VLSI level. That we had already discussed, as well as we had discussed about the voltage regulator, that is series pass voltage regulator, how regulator is categorized into various different category. Also we had discussed about the design step of series voltage regulator, or we can say a transistorized series pass voltage regulator. All the design steps we had already discussed in the second lecture. So next stage, in lecture number 3, we are designing. We will start a designing problem of the series pass voltage regulator. So basically, when we talk about the series pass voltage regulator, we categorize voltage pass regulator or series voltage pass regulator depending on the specifications. What are the design specifications are given? Depending on that, we categorize the voltage regulator. So type number 1. In type number 1, when voltage, that is output voltage, is less than 30 volt, load current, that is IL, is less than 1 ampere, as well as there is no short circuit protection, overload protection, and no Zener pre-regulator is available. So that comes under the category number 1. So this is type number 1. So we directly go for the first problem. You will get the problem statement in the notes which are available on the LMS, or I just write down the given data, whatever given data available in the problem. So first problem is design a voltage regulator or voltage series regulator with following specification. That is, input voltage is 20 plus minus 5 volt. That is then output voltage is given as 8 volt. Maximum load current is 500 milliampere, and it is given in the problem. Assume that we are having a transistor of IC1 max is equals to 2 ampere, HFE1 is equals to 40, and HIE is equals to 500 ohm. As well as a transistor 2 specification is as IC2 max is equals to 100 milliampere, HFE2 is equals to 100, and HIE2 is 2k ohm. As while discussing about the design step of the series voltage regulator, that time we had seen that a transistor T1 and transistor T2, there we are assuming, or we have to select a transistor which having HFE is less than 50 and HFE2 is greater than 50. So this is clear from this point. That is, assumption is given. Whatever we are seen design step of voltage regulator, the same specification of HFE and HFE2 is given. So in previous lecture we had also discussed how this series voltage pass regulator will be work. That is, this is nothing but a sampler circuit. That is this is R1 and R2. This is R1 and R2. These two act as a sampler circuit. Then this Zener diode, this provide a reference voltage. And this is nothing but this middle part is nothing but the error detector circuit, which take the feedback from this sampler circuit as well as reference voltage from this Zener, and this will provide the error signal to the controlling unit, that is nothing but a transistor T1. And this controlling unit is connected, or controlling parameter, or controlling this controlling transistor is connected in series with the load. That's why this is called a voltage series pass regulator. So we go for the solution of this first problem. So design steps. So when such a problem is given that maximum load current is less than 1 ampere, as well as output voltage is less than 30 volt. So this problem comes under the type number 1. So first we have taken the selection of Zener diode. How we are going to select a Zener? So first point of designing a voltage series path regulator, that is selection of Zener diode. So selection of Zener diode, we are having a formula for Zener voltage, that is Vz is equals to Vo by 2. That we have to select a Zener such that the voltage across the Zener is equals to Vo by 2. So we know the output voltage, that is Vo. Vo is equals to 8 volt divided by 2. So it is nothing but 4 volt. So Vz is equals to 4 volt. Then here we have to assume some current. See, there are some parameter while designing any type of analog circuit. That time we have to assume some data. So here we have to assume IT, I1 as well as IC2. So assume ID is equals to I1 is equals to IC2 is equals to 1% to 2% of IL. IL is nothing but the load current. So this current ID, I1 or IC2, this must be equal, and it is assumed to be 1 to 2% of the IL. So let us assume that this current is 2% of the IL. So 2% of 500 milliampere. So it is equals to 10 milliampere. So we are getting the value of ID, I1 or IC2 is equals to 10 milliampere. This current we have to use throughout the designing of this voltage regulator. So next step is we have to calculate the Iz max, or we can say the current flowing through this Zener diode. So current flowing through this Zener diode is equals to Iz, and Iz is nothing but the addition of this IC2 and this ID. IC2 plus ID, that is 10 plus 10, that is equals to 20 milliampere. So when we go for the designing of any problem, so for that we have to select a specific component like analog components. So when we are going to select analog component, that time we must know the power rating of that component. So here we are designing a Zener diode. So for that we calculate the voltage across that, the current flowing through the Zener diode. Now the point is that what is the power dissipation across the Zener. For selection purpose we must know the power rating of the Zener. So next step is power dissipation across the Zener. So it is nothing but the Vz into Iz. So Vz is equals to 4 volt and this is 20 milliampere. So it is equals to 80 milliwatt. So this is the power rating of this Zener diode. So finally, when we are selecting a Zener diode, so select Zener with 4 volt and what is the power rating? Power rating is 80 milliwatt. So while designing and taking into consideration of sustainability of that device, we have to select a component which having power rating greater than this, that is 80 milliwatt. So we have to select near about double the power rating. So 80, we have to select 1/4 watt, that is 250 milliwatt. So we are selecting a Zener diode with 4 volt voltage and 250 milliwatt as an power rating. So this is about the selection of Zener. So next step is now we know all the data. So next step, so up to this first point is covered. Second point is selection of transistor T2. Second point, selection of transistor T2. For selection of transistor T2, we know the value of voltage across this collector to emitter as well as current flowing through this transistor. And next part is what is the power rating of that transistor. So we go for the VCE2. So VCE2 is equals to voltage across this collector. VCE2, how we are getting the value of VCE2? Voltage at the collector and voltage at this emitter. So difference between this is nothing but the VCE2. So this is nothing but the VCE2. So how we are getting the value of VC? So it is nothing but the voltage across this, that is VB1, and voltage available at this point. So here voltage is VO and this is nothing but the VB1. So this value is nothing but the VB1 plus VO minus the voltage available at this point. So voltage available at this point is nothing but this is Vz. So this voltage is nothing but the Vz voltage, that is voltage across the zener. So we can write down as VCE2 is equals to VB1 plus VO minus Vz. So it is equals to VCE2 is equals to VB1 is nothing but the 0.7 plus VO is 8 volt minus what is the voltage across zener? It is 4 volt. So it is nothing but the 4.7 volt. 4.7 volt is nothing but the voltage across the transistor T2. So that is nothing but the VCE2. Next part is we have to calculate the current flowing through this transistor, that is nothing but the IC2. Now we already assume the value of IC2 and it is equals to 1 to 2% of the load current and it is 10 milliampere. So we are having the value of VCE2 as well as IC2. So we just calculate the power dissipation across the transistor T2. So power dissipation across the transistor T2, that is PD transistor T2 is equals to VCE2 multiplied by IC2. So it is equals to 4.7 multiplied by 10 milliampere. So it is 47 milliwatt. So this is nothing but the power dissipation across the transistor T2. So select a transistor with 4.7 volt as an VCE2 and power rating is with power dissipation it is 47 milliwatt. So we can select 1/4 or 1 with PD transistor T2 with 1/8 watt. So this is nothing but a selection of transistor T2. So this is the design of transistor T2. So next part is selection of. So up to this we had covered the 2 points, that is selection of Zener diode and selection of transistor. Next part is selection of resistance R1, selection of resistance R2 and selection of resistance R3, that is RD. So third point, selection of R1, R2 and RD. So out of that first R1. So how we are getting the value of R1? So R1 is nothing but the voltage difference between these 2 points, that is voltage available at this minus voltage available at this divided by, that is voltage divided by current is nothing but the resistance. This is the simple Ohm's law. So voltage available at this point minus voltage available at this point divided by current flowing through that resistance. So R1 is equals to, so what is the voltage? Here it is voltage is VO. What is the voltage available at this? We are assuming this voltage is nothing but the voltage across this resistance R2, and we can say it is an VF. What is the value of VF? If we are taking the voltage appearing across R2, it is nothing but the parallel voltage available at this point. So this is nothing but the VBE2, and this is we already calculated as VZ. So voltage available at this point is nothing but the addition of VBE2 and VZ. So this is the voltage available at the second end of the R1. So R1 is equals to VO minus addition of these two, that is VBE2 plus that is VZ divided by current flowing through this resistance R1, that is I1. So we know the value of I1, we know the value of V1, VBE2 and VZ. We just put it, that is VO is equals to 8 volt minus this is 0.7 plus VZ 4 divided by 10 milliampere, which we already assumed as 2% of the load current. So it is 8 minus 4.7, it is 3.3 divided by 10 milliampere. So it is 330 ohm. So this is the value of R1. Next is we have to calculate the power dissipation across this resistors. As we know that while selecting a resistance, we must know the value of resistance as well as what is the power rating of that resistance. So next is we have to calculate the power dissipation across the R1. So it is nothing but the I1 square, that is current flowing through that resistance, multiplied by the value of resistance R1. So I1, we know that I1 value, that is 10 milliampere. 10 milliampere square multiplied the value of resistance, that is 330 ohm. So we have to just take the multiplication of these two. So we will get, it is 33 milliwatt, that is power dissipation across the resistance. So select R1 with value of R1 as 330 ohm and power dissipation or power rating as 33 milliwatt. So we can select 1/8 watt resistance. It is much higher than 33 milliwatt. So we have to select 1/8 watt resistance of 330 ohm. So if we don't have the standard value of 330 ohm, then we can select a nearer value to this resistance. So this is the selection of R1. Similarly, we go for the selection of resistance R2. So similar way, what is the value of R2? R2 is nothing but the voltage difference between these two, or we can say voltage available across the R2 divided by current flowing through this resistance R2. So if we look at this point, this voltage is nothing but the VF. We already calculated as VF. VF is equals to VB2 plus VZ. So it is VF. So voltage across this is nothing but the 0. So VF minus 0 divided by I2. So we can write down it as VBE2 plus VZ divided by I2. I2 is equals to I1, as IB2 is assumed to be a 0. So this is approximately equals to I1. So it is equals to VB2 is 0.7 plus VZ is equals to, VZ we already calculated as 4 volt and this is 10 milliampere. So it is equals to 4.7 divided by 10 milliampere. So it is equals to 470 ohm. So this is the value of R2. The next part is we have to calculate the power dissipation across the R2. So it is I1 square multiplied by what is the value of R2? So 10 square, 10 milliampere square multiply with 470. So it is 47 milliwatt. So that is the value of power dissipation across the resistance R2. So select R2 as 470 ohm with power dissipation across R2 is equals to 1 by 8 watt. So this is nothing but the selection of resistance R2. Similarly, we go for the selection of RD. So next is selection of RD. So RD is equals to voltage available at this point. So voltage available at this point is, that is VO. Similar voltage will be available here. So VO minus voltage available at this point. This voltage is nothing but the VZ. So VO minus VZ divided by ID. So it is equals to 8 minus 4 divided by ID. ID is nothing but the 10 milliampere. So we will get the value of RD is equals to 4 divided by 10 milliampere. So this is the value of RD. So we will get the value of RD is equals to as 400 ohm. So next part is calculate the power dissipation similarly. So power dissipation across the RD is equals to ID square multiplied by RD. So it is 10 milliampere square multiplied by 400. So we will get the 40 milliwatt. So select a resistance RD with 400 ohm and power dissipation is 40 milliwatt. So we have to select power dissipation as 1 by 8 watt. So this is the selection of resistance R1, R2 and RD. Next part is selection of transistor T2. So next part is selection of this transistor T1.